DT50 is essentially a very, very simple, straightforward, plug and play, all valve amplifier. It's for somebody who just wants to plug in, isn't really bothered about having a lot of effects at this stage, just wants to get a bunch of, a bunch of great sounds and have the option of switching between two of those sounds. Designed in conjunction with Reinhold Bogner. See, Reinhold Bogner being the valve expert, got him involved. So we've got some features on there that the competition just don't have. So moving from this side, we've got channel A, channel B, both with reverb, and that's a combination of HD modelling. HD modelling is a great sales thing in the store. It does 10 times, processes 10 times more data than any of the previous things that we've done. So if you've got a Pod X3 and you do A/B it next to something like the HD range, HD is doing 10 times as much processing on each one of those. Up to 10 times as much processing on each one of those models. That's what you can really hear. But the same HD modelling is in here with 4 different models there. But that HD modelling then runs into the 212AX7 valves are in here, and we've got different voicings on those 12AX7s. That then runs into the 2 EL34 power stage of the amplifier, and we've got pento triode switching, which is actually foot switchable. Other companies have got pento triode switching, but ours is a foot switchable version of that. And then we've got Class A and we've got Class AB. Again, kind of foot switchable if you start using the pod, but we'll get to that. We'll get to that in a moment. So we've got quite a very, very complex kind of way at the end of here of actually switching real analog components and valves to get a great sound and also a great feel. Class A and Class AB. Class A feels very, very different when you play. Now, you guys all guitar players? Yeah? So. Okay. Let's just have a listen to some of those sounds. First sound I'm going to use, we're going to find these 4 sounds on different voicings here. I'm going to go first of all voicing number 1, which is a classic American clean sound. It's not particularly meant to sound like a specific amplifier. It's designed, it's Line 6 and Reinhold Bogner's take, and they're inspired by a classic Californian clean amplifier. I'm sure you can guess what it is. Nice big warm valve sound. Very rich, clear sound here. Let's move on to class voicing number 2, which is a British crunch, inspired by a British crunch amplifier. Nice, crunchy, very, very responsive sound. Move on again. Going to go voicing number 3, which is a Class A chime. For this sound, I'm actually going to switch over the power stage, which is actually switching real analog components and valves. It's not doing there's no modelling going on here. It's actually the real thing. So, and now it'll start to respond. Class A chimey Brit amplifier. Just a really nice kind of boutique amplifier sort of sound that people would pay a lot, almost double the price to get, and buying a boutique amplifier double the price and it would have one sound that might only sound as good as that. This has got the 4 different sounds in it. And then last but not least, we've got modern high gain. Tons of sustains, big, rich MIDI sound. So we've got those kind of amplifier voicings, but we can also then create our own amplifier voicing. So if you wanted a modern high gain sound, but you wanted to have it in triode operation, but in a Class A power amp stage, we can start to create that as well. So you can get some really nice amplifier type things going there, and some of your own amplifiers. Any of those 4 voicings that I can then assign to any of the 2 channels. So if I'm going one night to a country gig, I could have 2 Californian clean sounds, one with a little bit of a boost to them, maybe a little bit more reverb or something, and I've got 2 great sort of Californian clean sounds. If on the next night I'm going to a death metal gig, I can have 2 modern high gain sounds on there as well, and just basically assign them. There's no complicated saving. It's for the guy or the girl who really just wants to plug in and get a bunch, you know, 2 great sounds, foot switchable sounds, and not, maybe at this stage they don't want to deal with effects, they're scared of the way the pod looks or think it's going to be too complicated for your more traditional player. However, once they realise what they can achieve by having a pod connected with the new Line 6 connection, I'm sure you'll actually sell the pod as well. You'll have noticed already in the stores that each one of the pods has got an XLR connection on the back, which is basically the Line 6 link. Line 6 link is a way of Pod HD and your DT50 talking to each other. It's a very neat and straightforward setup. The cables carry information 2 ways, so it's going to carry information from the pod to the amplifier and from the amplifier to the pod. So once you've connected that XLR cable, it's just a straightforward XLR cable. It's not a, in terms of the financial, I don't know if I say $50, I guess that's a fair amount of money. I was going to say a $100 Line 6 cable. It's not that. It's a standard XLR cable. It means that once you switch your DT50 on, it's going to register the pod. Once you've got the pod connected, you're going to gain. So you're going to have 16 different high definition amp models like we heard before. They're going to run into the 2 12AX7s on the amplifier, and they'll automatically jump to the right kind of 12AX7 like valve voicing for those models, and then you're running into the ultimate kind of power stage for the model that you've chosen. So you chose, for example, a Vox AC15 on your pod. Your amplifier is going to switch over to Class A and the appropriate voicing for that. Again, you can tweak all that the way you want and start to create your own sounds as well. Yeah. So if you're a DT50 owner, Pod HD 500 is the only logical choice for effects for you to buy. You know, that Line 6 link thing's made everything so clear. It's also going to, like I say, it's going to carry the audio as well. So now you've got just 2 cables. You've got your guitar into your pod, an XLR Line 6 link cable. It's going to work. Once at that stage, well, anything that I do on the DT50, rather than just having channel A and channel B, I'm now going to have up to sort of 512 different sort of channels, if you like, inside Pod HD 500. Anything I do on the amplifier is registered by the pod and saved by the pod. So if I tweak the treble control here, you'll actually see it in the screen on the pod. It'll actually move the treble control in there. So you're almost starting to get this kind of dream, where you're getting this kind of dream rig together, where you've got any of 16 HD models running into the appropriate valve, real analog components to get the sound and the feel of the amplifier you want to own. Yeah. So basically that's Line 6 link.